Welcome back to Sway TV. I'm your host JJ here on Amazon Live, and I'm so excited!
We're gonna have some fun on the street.
And we're doing Workout Wednesdays here on Amazon Live.
And she is fresh off the set of Shark Tank.
It's such an honor to be here today, so thank you.
We are going to be talking all about parenting.
You have no idea how honored I am to have Mr. Tim Storey making his world premiere right here on Sway TV Live.
Functional medicine is all this stuff. It's integrating things that improve your life.
This is our tribe of women.
I completely agree with you, Kimmy. It starts with being happy with how you look.
What is the key to a successful business?
We made history here on Amazon Live. Would you ask her out again, Michael?
I am so excited for today's Battle Shop Live.
And it's Brad Grunberg. Hi, Brad.
Here we go.
Get curious. Get curious.
Daisha says, I can watch Sway TV for hours because they are the best. Rosalinda just said, this is better than Netflix.
Oh, Naveen says this is better than Netflix. Yes! There's a Tesla. You can actually buy a car on Amazon. That is so crazy. The perfect gift. Yes, we got our Drake's Cake break.
David is live streaming. We got it right up in the corner. I love this.
I am getting a complete body makeover right now.
Oh, that feels so good.
Oh my God, that is the coolest thing ever.
So awesome.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake your zoo life.
This is fun. Drum roll, please. Dun, dun, dun. So many giveaways here at Sway TV.
And one person's gonna win a PS5. Which one will it be?
Here we go. I'm so excited. I can't even stand it.
And Sam's in the chat says, Sway TV rocks. Woo!
We're still going. Yeah, we don't sleep at Sway.
One of the best comments I've ever received, ever, hands down. PK's gonna love me even more. Look.
I cannot make this up.
We are awarding you with the PS5 as well.
4, 3,
2, 1.
All the time streaming live. We're sharing great products. We're doing great interviews and amazing giveaways.
Amazon, we love you, Amazon. So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
Thank you, Sway TV.
Amazon Live, woo!
I've had such a great time with all of you.
Shop attainment all the time.
It is a girl's dream come true for someone like me to be able to give you dating advice and shopping all in one platform.
We in the house, we having fun, we doing the thing, we swaying. Do, do, do. How did this show turn into like a full-on sing-along? This is fun! We love Sway TV! Let's sway!
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway!
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's go, let's sway, stay tuned! Woo!
Welcome everyone. This is Sway TV Live and my name is Michelle Mitchell and you are tuning in to Navigating Life. Here at Sway TV, we are showcasing all sorts of programming, all sorts of information, and today I get to carve out a couple hours with you to talk about mindful practices to help you navigate your life. There is one word, but what day is it? It is Thursday, so happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend. There's one word I want to talk about today, and it's a word that we use often, and I have to say it's a word that I use often, and it occurred to me that it was really sending a signal to my body and my brain to kind of keep me stuck in the same space, because the words that we use with ourselves, those are very powerful words, and they either move us forward, they keep us where we're at, or they move us back and they stick us in the past. So the word that I want us to look at today is the word fine. How many of you respond with, I'm fine, it's gonna be fine, everyone is fine? I know I do it. If you think about it, you probably do it. And what does that word really mean? It's almost like I'm settling. Or what about I don't actually have to do something to move in any direction? So I think that the word fine keeps us stuck. So think of a time that you used the word fine, like maybe in the last 2 days. I'll give you, 2 days. Because I think I probably used it 3 times today, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So in the past 48 hours, I've probably used it a whole lot. So what is it really saying to your mind, your body, and your spirit to say that you are fine? It kind of gives you a way out. It gives you an excuse not to do something different. So just kind of keep that on the warmer. Keep that word fine on the warmer. You know when you're hungry and your body's basically telling you to eat food? Well, you don't have to think about telling yourself you're hungry to eat food. Your body just is intelligent and it tells you to eat food. And so you do that, whether it's good food or food that's not that great for you, you do it. But you don't have to think about, am I hungry? Your body comes up and says, my stomach's growling, or you feel hungry. Whatever those signals are that your body gives you, your body's really intelligent and it gives you signals that you are hungry. So when you're hungry, what's the solution? What do you do if you're hungry? You get something to eat, right? You take care of that hunger in that moment or the very near future. Your body also sends you other signals as well. How about when you're tired? If your body says, I'm tired, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? Do you rest? Do you sleep? You think about those things and you consider them. So when you have the feeling that you are stuck, when you have the feeling that your life is fine, that might be an indication that you feel stuck. So if your body gives you these signals, and if your body says to you, I'm hungry, and the solution is to get something to eat, then if your body says, I'm stuck, what would be the solution, right? How would you remedy being stuck? I think we all have an array of things that we would do when we feel stuck. And there's also kind of like a spectrum of, is it stuck in a relationship? Is it stuck at work? Is it stuck in, a sport that you might play? I think there's definitely a spectrum, but some of us, and I'm going to use myself as an example. So sometimes if I'm stuck, then I just complain about it. And I get bored. I complain to other people about it. Or if I'm stuck, I just feel like something's broken and I need to have some big fix on it. So, if the relationship feels stuck, then sometimes we feel like, well, we need a new partner. I need somebody else in my life, or maybe I just need to be on my own. And we don't really explore what that means to be stuck. It's not as easy, right? It's not as easy as I'm hungry. It's not as easy as I'm tired, but it's still that same kind of intuition and signal that you're getting from your body. So how do we get unstuck? The first thing is to be aware of it, to have some level of awareness that this stuck or fine feeling is unacceptable to us at some level. And that level of awareness is something that many people don't even have. So right now, if you have that level of awareness that you are stuck or you are feeling fine, which I think fine is kind of flat, that's something to celebrate. That's to say, hey, listen, I recognize this, because the first thing that you do in the recognition is then your unconscious mind starts to find a solution, starts to look for, how do I get unstuck? How do I move out of this space? And I'm really careful when I say move out of the space, because becoming unstuck doesn't necessarily mean moving forward. This could just be a pivot or a shift. That doesn't mean that you're going to take 10 steps forward. So how do we get unstuck? How do we get stuck in the first place, right? A little bit of that is it is comfortability in our life, and we are kind of creatures of habit, and we like to do the same thing over and over again. We also like to complain about the same thing over and over again without action. When you think of these body signals that are coming to you, like we talked about being hungry, we talked about being sleepy, and then we talked about the feeling of being stuck. These are, they're like intuitive, kind of like, I don't know, just like your early warning system, right? Because if you say you're hungry and then you don't eat, and eventually, at some point you're going to have to eat. So it's an early warning system letting you know. Our body has these signals, but we have a limited amount of time to respond to the signals that we're getting. So not exactly the same thing with hunger and rest, but when you get a signal from your body, and I'm talking about an intuitive signal, because your body gives you all sorts of signals, right? But when you get an intuitive signal, that's a way to get, yes, exactly. Rosalinda in the chat just said you have to start from getting to the root of why you're stuck. I think you are spot on, and that's exactly right. You have to get to the root of being stuck. Sometimes you'll have an inspiration about how to get unstuck. I'll give you an example. If you are wanting to work out and you know that you want to work out, right? So you know that it's the right thing for you to do. You know that it's good for you. You know you want to keep moving, and you're thinking about it, and you're having these thoughts. I should work out, and then you go about your day and you're like, I should work out, but I'm just going to finish this up on the computer, and then you run out of time, and you keep saying to yourself, I should work out, I should work out. Like, you know that you should work out. But when that moment comes that I should work out, when that I should work out moment comes, you have 5 seconds. Your brain and body have 5 seconds to respond. I want you guys to hear that. You have 5 seconds to respond. If you get a hit on something intuitively, like I want to work out, I want to eat better, I should meal prep, or whatever the thing that comes to you, or I should compliment this person, I should introduce myself to that person, I should send an email. When you have that feeling, you have 5 seconds. And this is how it works. one side of your brain is like it's like the emergency brake, and the other side of your brain is like the autopilot. So most of the time, I think it's like something like 47% of the time, human beings are literally on autopilot. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean by autopilot, but because I think autopilot is just, something we're all getting used to right now in our vehicles, especially here in Los Angeles. I'll tell you, it saves me all the time. But in my life, it might not serve me as well. So if you're thinking that humans are almost spending half of their time on autopilot, that means you're checked out. That means you're fine. You're living that kind of the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and you're not really experiencing your highs or your lows. So you've got autopilot. And then the next, if we took the brain and we said, okay, we're gonna cut it in half. One side is autopilot, and the other side, are you ready for this? The other side is the emergency brake. So you've got autopilot and the emergency brake. And there's like a 5-second opportunity that you have. When a new idea comes, or when an inspiration comes, or something comes into your life to change, you have 5 seconds to say, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to make moves towards that. And I want to talk about that, making those moves towards that and why that's important. So what happens if you wait beyond the 5 seconds? It's almost like the thought is light. The thought is light, and it can move and it can navigate space. But after the 5 seconds, it almost becomes physical. And so it's easier to have a thought than it is for me to actually get up and go do the thing. So I can think about working out, but to actually physically get up and go work out, it's going to take a little bit more effort. So if I have an inspiration or a thought and I don't move on those 5 seconds, within those 5 seconds, now I've got a bigger job. Now I'm talking myself into it. Now I'm kind of, if you can imagine, just pushing like this heavy boulder up a hill versus just kind of running up the hill, kind of carefree. That's what those 5 seconds, those are your carefree moments to act. Why don't we act within those 5 seconds? Yeah, that's a really, really good question for me to ask, because I think it's different for everybody. So yeah, you are not living in the moment, right? What somebody in the chat just said, you're not living in the moment. If you're in those 5 seconds, if you were in the moment in those 5 seconds, well, then that's your inspiration, right? That's your hit. That's your go. I'm going to go do this now. But if you allow those 5 seconds to lapse and you get into the space of being heavy, right? Not being able to move forward. Those are it's a big word. It's a big, heavy word that I'm going to use right now. So, and that's fear. In those 5 seconds, that can be fear. And I'll use an example of, it's a networking example, and it happens to me quite often. And there's a whole nother piece that I want to talk about as to why that happens. But when I'm in a situation where there's somebody that I want to meet and I have an opportunity to meet that person, I'll have this inspiration of, oh, here's my opportunity. I should go over and introduce myself or have a conversation. The thing that doesn't allow me to move in the 5 seconds is fear. Do you guys resonate with that? Do you have fear in those 5 seconds? Think about the last time that you were. Hi, Sammy. It looks like Sammy started following. Sammy, thank you for following Sway TV Live. We are so excited to have you. Sway TV is just, I want to just take a minute. You guys, if you go to swaytvfollow.com, make sure you hit the follow button. If you know anybody that might enjoy Sway TV, please have them join our family so that we can all hang out and be together. This is such an amazing opportunity to like come together in this virtual community and connect. And I'll tell you, I've said this before, this is not exactly the most familiar place for me to be. I'm used to speaking to people real life and doing lectures really in a live situation where I guess in real life, I guess. So I know we're live, but I can't see you. And, so I have to work a little bit more on staying connected. When you're in the chat, hi, Helen. When you're in the chat, I know you're there and I know you're connected and I know that you're talking with me. So, and joining in to the Sway TV Live community. So thank you for that. I want to just, so can I have riddles? Okay, Rosalinda. So here we go. Fear is what fear is what pops up in those 5 seconds and stops you from acting. And then you're stuck with having to work harder at it, work harder and harder at it. Does anybody have any experience with this? Just type yes in the chat. You don't have to type the experience. Please just type yes in the chat, and then I'll know that you're there, and I know that we're connecting and that this information is connecting with you. So if you guys are just joining us, oh, thanks, Coco. Coco's joined us. I really appreciate your love and support. And Laura, yes, Laura, thank you for typing yes in the chat and participating with us. And Coco, yes, too. So we were talking about our brain. And if we were to look at our brain and just, this is not like a scientific, I'm not a doctor. If you took the brain and we said one side of the brain is autopilot, and that's where we live most of the time. Autopilot is where we are functioning most of the time. And the other side of the brain is the emergency brake. And we can talk in a little bit about how many times we hit that emergency brake. But there's something that happens if you're in autopilot and you get an intuition, you get an inspiration, you get an idea that moves you, and you know what that is. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what that is because it's like, it's effortless, but it's in every part of your being. It's like, oh, I should do that. I'm excited about that. I'm going to make that happen. It comes up, it bubbles up through all the parts of you. It isn't just kind of an idea floating around. Like that is an intuitive, inspirational hit that you get. So you're on autopilot most of the time, most of us. You get that hit, you get that inspirational pop, and then you have 5 seconds before you hit the emergency brake. So here's me meeting somebody at a networking event. Oh, I'm inspired to go over and say hello to that person. I'm inspired to connect with that person. Well, I wait for that in that 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, but what if they're too busy? I don't want to interrupt their conversation. What if they blow me off? What if, all these things happen? And for me, it's a little bit like imposter syndrome. And I don't know if you guys have heard of imposter syndrome before, but I'm happy to talk about it today. You let me know anytime you want to talk about that. So actually, I think we will talk about that a little bit later today. So you have that 5 seconds, right? You're on autopilot, you get an inspirational hit, and there is 5 seconds before you hit the emergency brake. So today, one of the assignments or the takeaways or the home plays or homework or whatever you want to call it, today I would say pay attention to the inspirational hit, pay attention to the inspirational pop, and don't even worry about the 5 seconds because I want you to just know that it's there. And if you so choose to pay attention to that, know that it's there, and then decide to say, what am I doing in these 5 seconds? What's coming up for me in these 5 seconds? Is this something that's, can I identify it as fear? Can I as embarrassment? I don't know what it is for you, but whatever you come up with, let me know. Let me know. So in the chat, they're saying we come up with all these excuses or worries. Exactly. And where are those excuses and worries rooted in? Sometimes they're rooted in fear. Sometimes you're just kind of sabotaging your own success sometimes. And I say, how are we going to show up? How do we show up in this life? We have this life that we know. And there are a whole lot of philosophies out there. I don't know which one's right. I don't know which one's wrong. All I know is this physical experience is the one that we know that we have. And so in this physical life, how are we going to show up 100% for ourselves? How are we going to show up as, in my experience, how are we going to show up as moms and daughters and wives and husbands and sons and all that? I think we have to recognize how we want to show up, and then we need to incorporate that into our life, and we need to know that we have autopilot going on. We need to know that we have emergency brake going on, and we need to know the magic sauce of the 5 seconds. Let's call it the 5-second sauce. I'm getting some things in the chat. What is the star in the lower right corner? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't see the star at all. I think I have a different screen than you, but that's okay. Anyway, so here's what we talked about. We talked about that 5-second space. So what can happen in the 5 seconds? In the 5 seconds, we can come up with fear, anxiousness, anxiety, embarrassment, all the things that will come up in our lives that we say, hey, this is going to stop me from doing X. What can we do with that? Whatever you want to do, you can do. This is true. If you really want to do something, we live in an amazing, amazing day and age to be able to accomplish things. If you want to learn something, you can look it up. You can Google just about anything. If you need something to do that from Amazon, they will send it to you, sometimes within the same day. If you want to do something, you can absolutely do something. But I have a recommendation. My recommendation is that you take whatever that big goal is that's going to take you from fine to fabulous. Whatever that big goal is that you have, and you know what it is. I want you to think right now for a minute. What is that big goal of mine? Choose. Don't overthink it. I think people overthink it too much. But what is your big goal? And then your mind starts to wander, and I want to do this and I want to do that. You intuitively know what that big goal is. So settle into you and trust you and just ask yourself, what is that big goal? Having that big goal, have it in such a way that you are going to dismantle it a little bit, where you're going to dismantle the steps towards it. So what we like to say in coaching, and just if you're joining us, this is Sway TV Live, and my name is Michelle Mitchell, and this is Navigating Life. I am a life coach, and I want to share tools and techniques with you, tools from Amazon that I'm going to share with you, techniques and some conversation that will help you navigate your life's challenges. So in coaching, we take the big goal and we break it into some smaller goals. And why do we do that? Why is that even important? It's important because your brain can only take so much information and only do so much. So if you look at this big goal, you might feel overwhelmed by it. But if you can break it into a smaller goal and say, what can I do today? What can I do today to work towards that big goal? And not only what can I do today, but now you're gonna create action So you have a thought. This is what I can do today to support my big goal. What action can I marry with the thought today on this smaller goal that's going to help me get to the bigger goal? So we've talked about some really important things, and I want to recap and make sure that you guys are getting this and understanding it. And if you have any questions, absolutely, I will take your questions, no problem. But we talked about being fine. And this experience of when somebody asks you how you are and you say, I'm fine. And I always think that word is, I don't know, it's kind of an excuse word. I mean, I think if you're going to be vulnerable and real, you should talk about what it is. Now, I don't mean that if somebody asks me how I am, that I'm going to dump my entire, whatever, maybe challenging morning or family life in that moment or whatever on them. But it could go something like this. How are you? Not that great. It's been a bumpy morning, but I'm looking forward to a better day. True story. Like, it's been a bumpy morning, but I'm looking forward to a better day. Be real and be honest and be true and start to step out of fine. See if you can take fine out of your vocabulary. I would love it if you could. How are you today? I'm fantastic. I'm doing really well. I'm actually really giggly today. I'm actually really happy today. Or today I'm really hungry. I don't know. Whatever it is, give it a thing and take fine away. I love that. Laura in the chat just said low-hanging fruit. And this is so important because when you've got this big goal, when you're at fine and you kind of know where you need to be fabulous, and you've got this big goal, it sometimes feels really out of reach. Or here's what I do. Sometimes I sit on a Sunday and I plan my week and I start writing notes down in the margin of my calendar. And, I do like a brain dump. Boom, 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 boom. And then I go back through my calendar and I pick out things that I may have missed or may be the priority. And I look at that list and I think, oh yeah, no problem. I can make all that happen. And then the week comes, midweek comes, I start getting anxious because I haven't made the progress that I need to make. I get to the end of the week and I realize I haven't done it. It's because I didn't take the big goals and bring them out into small goals. And the small goals can be that low-hanging fruit. You've got to give yourself some wins. You have to be able to accomplish and give yourself some wins so that your unconscious and your conscious and your whole body, mind, soul can say, hey, listen, I can do this. I'm good at this. And I'm moving in the right direction. So we talked about being fine and removing that from our vocabulary and being really authentic and authentic about how we're feeling and how we're doing. And not having to dump that on anybody in any crazy way, but really being your authentic self. Removing fine from the vocabulary and then deciding, what do I need to go from fine to fabulous? And you already know what it is. You might think that you don't, but this is where I say, get quiet. And I talk about mindfulness tools. Whenever you're just kind of not sure, it's just a really easy technique. And it's really just a breath. It's kind of relaxing your shoulders and it's taking a breath. And then sometimes you can close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. And it's asking yourself, what is the goal? What do I want to do? What do I want to do to be fabulous? Because again, this is the life that we know that we have. And why not be fabulous? I want to be fabulous in this lifetime. So decide what that thing is that's going to take you from fine to fabulous. And then break it down into smaller goals to hit the bigger goals. And when you're looking at the small goals, now think of the brain, right? And we're talking about the brain in two different segments. So you have autopilot and you have the emergency brake. And then you have that secret 5-second sauce that we talked about. So you're on autopilot and you realize what those steps are that you need to take to get to the big goal. You get inspired about what to do for the small goal, and you have 5 seconds to marry that inspiration that thought, that idea with a physical action. That's the formula. Inspiration, within 5 seconds, I have to do something physical to bake that in. And that's the secret sauce within there. That's the exercise, right? So that's the exercise. And it's a practice. And if you pay attention, like I said, if we're gonna take this week and we're gonna pay attention to what those inspirational downloads are, or what those things that move us, and you know what they are. I know you guys were typing yes in the chat, and that you absolutely know what they are. It's when you have that feeling that just kind of comes throughout your whole body. It's that you're going along and you're having a pretty good day, but then you get like super excited about a thought or an idea. That's the hit. Pay attention to that. And the closer you get to yourself, the closer you get to knowing how to trust what your body's telling you, the stronger those hits are going to get for you. So take that big goal and break it into small goals or low-hanging fruit, like Laura said, that I absolutely love. If your body is so intelligent and is giving you all this information, I mean, let's just think about it for a minute. I don't have to think about breathing. I don't have to think about blood flow. I don't have to think about all these things. I know that there are some conditions, and then there's some situations where people do have to pay special attention. But generally speaking, and I am speaking in a general term, generally speaking, we don't have to think about these things. My heart beats. My blood runs through my veins. My cells are they're dying and growing and turning over. I don't have to think, I've got a few cells that are falling off and a few ones that are coming back. I don't have to think about my hair growing or anything like that. My body is intelligent to do that. So my body's intelligent to do a whole lot more. This is your body has this early warning system. And the early warning system is what it tells you. So with the emotions, with the feelings that you have, it's the signals that you get. And when we pay attention and when we're in the moment, we know what we need to do. We hear the signals and we listen to the signals. What happens when we ignore the signals? When we ignore the signals, then it turns into a different kind of physical manifestation, right? And this is my opinion. And this is my own experience. If I ignore the stress, my shoulders hurt. If I ignore my shoulders, they get really tight. I start to have like uncomfortable, like nerve pain down my arm. And I can tack it all back to me not paying attention to when my shoulders initially hurt. So my body has an early warning system. It's telling me something. So really getting in touch with listening to your body before it manifests in a physical form. When your body says, I'm having an experience, I'm experiencing an emotion, and I like sadness, and I push it down and I ignore it. What happens to sadness if I push it down and I ignore it? It doesn't go anywhere. It just bottles up and it stays inside me. Let's see. You guys, I am getting these really, really great messages, and I wanted them here because I'm getting some questions here and some questions on the chat. And so I just wanted to figure it out and see what we've got going on here. Okay, cool. I've got the people that were here are now on the chat, and thank you very much for doing that. So your body's infinitely intelligent, and it's going to tell you what needs to happen and how it needs to happen, but you just have to listen. And we've got really great techniques for how to listen. I don't know how many of you meditate or have mindful practices. I think when people think of meditation, they think that that they have to sit in silence for 45 minutes in an uncomfortable space. Well, I don't believe that. I don't think that it has to be, I I don't think it has to be uncomfortable at all. As a matter of fact, I think that you should be sitting in a space where your body is not calling out for you, and in such a way that your body's not calling out for you. And one of the things that I use, I'm going to just pull up right here for you guys to see. And when I create my meditation space, and I talked about this yesterday, I had an opportunity to be on yesterday, and I had a really awesome guest, Heather Lindemann. And if you guys want to go to swaytvreplay.com, you can go back and you can have a look at that, and you can listen to all of Heather's wisdom, because she really brought it, and it was amazing and fantastic. And then just know that come to swaytvfollow.com if you guys are following us anywhere else. Swaytvfollow.com is where we get to connect with each other. It's where I get to see you in the chat, and I know that you're here, and I can answer your questions and stay connected with you. I want to bring this up if I can find it, and if I can't, I will find one for you. I have a meditation cushion, and yeah, I don't see it in there. So there are a bunch of different ways that you can sit for meditation. Here in the Western world, we're used to sitting in chairs. We sit in chairs all day long at work. We sit in cars. I'm here in Los Angeles. I spend a fair time, I'm between Los Angeles and San Diego, but I was on the freeway today, and we spend a lot of time sitting in our cars, sitting in our chairs, sitting at the dining table, where there are some cultures that are accustomed to sitting on the floor or in more flexible spaces than we are. So I think that when we're introducing meditation and we're asking people to sit in such a way that their body is not calling out for them, I think that it's reasonable that you make yourself comfortable in a chair. So that might be the first step for you if you haven't meditated before, or if you have some discomfort with your back or your legs, or your neck or anything like that. And what you want to do is you want to sit in the chair or sit on the couch, and you don't want to slump back. You want to sit up like this. So even if you need to tuck some pillows in behind you, I actually have a pillow tucked in behind me right now, and it's really, really helpful. I think you should do that because you want support. Again, you don't want to be sitting in a space where your body is calling out for you. So you want to sit in such a way that you're comfortable. Your feet should be flat on the ground. So if your feet can't reach the ground, if you're sitting on a high stool, then that's not the best meditation position to be in. So your feet should be flat on the ground. I prefer to be barefoot so that I can make contact with the ground. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take my shoes off right now so that I can do that. And we can do that. And I'm wearing my awesome white Converse today. These are my standard issue shoe. I absolutely love them. I had somebody say to me the other day, why are you wearing white Converse? And I was at the stables. My daughter rides horses. I was at the stables, and they're like, why would you wear white shoes? And I'm like, the trick is that they're leather, so I can just wipe them off. So you want to get your feet flat on the ground, and you want to make sure that your lower back is supported and that you're sitting up straight. And what kind of helps me to sit up straight is if you take your hands and you just gently place them on your thighs, and then just kind of pull them back towards the crease of your hips. And that kind of opens up your chest, and it creates some space right in there, and it gets your shoulders upright in the right position. And then from here, I recognize if I'm holding any tension in my shoulders. So take a minute and just recognize if you're holding tension there in your shoulders, and see if you can kind of let it go. Let that tension go. You might want to just take your neck and pull it to the side. And it's even helpful sometimes if you can gently place your hand here, and you can get a really good neck stretch that kind of, you feel the stretch in through here. And just kind of take a deep breath in and let it go. Nice. Just kind of allowing your body to relax. And then placing your other hand over on the other side like this. And again, it's just a gentle placement. There's not a pull or a tug. It's a gentle placement. And taking a deep breath in and just letting it go. Oh, I really, really love how that feels. Oh. And then releasing that and placing your hands down back at the crease of your thighs. Wonderful. Awesome. Oh, and a little neck roll. Oh, that feels good too. Come on, you guys, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to take care of you, like right here in this moment. And you know what? We're only talking about sitting for meditation properly. We're not even meditating. And I don't know about you, but to me, this already feels amazing. Oh, this is awesome. Somebody in the chat just said, 3 days ago, I started meditation and yoga. Congratulations for starting meditation and yoga. You are on a journey back to you, and I celebrate you. We all celebrate you. I hope this is an awesome, awesome journey for you. And they're just saying that it felt really good. It does feel good. Sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes it doesn't. And I want to talk about that for a minute. I'm like so in this right now. This feels really good. Okay. Sometimes yoga is uncomfortable. Let's be real. Sometimes it doesn't feel really good. And here's the point. It's not about the position. Have you ever been in yoga class before and somebody next to you or in front of you or whatever within your vision is killing it? They're just landing the pose. They're like super flexible. They're stretchy. They're killing it. They're strong. You know, they've got like a strong tree pose or whatever. You know, they're just doing a really great job at it. The thing to remember is it's not about the pose. It's not about getting in the pose. Just like in life, when we say it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey. What is your journey in the pose? So here's the magic. The next time you're in yoga class and you feel some discomfort, and you breathe into that space and you let it go. Remember that it's the journey to the pose and it's not the pose. And that the same pose that you did today may be challenging tomorrow. So it's not about the pose. It's about the journey to the pose. So that's my yoga talk for right now. So your hands are just kind of comfortably in your lap. And for sometimes, if it's a morning meditation or a midday meditation, I'll do palms up because that's like a receiving kind of energy. And then if it's an evening meditation, I'll do palms down on my thighs, just like that. Yeah. Yeah, and Helen says she does yoga at home, but her 9-year-old grandkids kill it. Oh, wow. I love this. Let me tell you something, Helen, about doing yoga with distraction. You are one heck of a yogi if you can do yoga with distraction. The reason that we practice yoga is so that we can find stillness in the midst of the chaos of our day. So yoga, we can all, in a quiet yoga room, and this goes for meditation as well, in a quiet yoga or meditation room, we can absolutely 100% do it, and we can do it well. Now, if you just put a bunch of loud music and people walking by, and like, you know, just have it be really, really distracting, that's when it becomes difficult. So that's why we practice, so that when we go through our day, we can take those distractions and they become part of the music of the meditation or the yoga. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was on on the Eden Sassoon Way a few weeks ago, and we did a meditation outside at the studios, and it was fantastic. We did this meditation, and there was an airplane that kept flying by. I love airplanes. It just always mystifies me. I know it's technology and whatever, like I've flown in a million planes, but it always still amazes me that they fly. So I always look up. I'm really distracted when there's a plane. And I was talking about energy. I think I was talking about relieving stress or something, and the plane flew by, and I said something like, and as if, you know, the plane flying by is taking away your worries or whatever it was that I said. Because that's part of the practice, is to include what's happening in your home that you're practicing meditation or yoga and kind of incorporating that in. I would have those grandkids join in your yoga, and then I would somehow find a way to reward them for it because they'll be hooked. So we talked about feet being flat on the ground, and that it's okay to sit in a chair or a couch or something like that. And just because you are not on the floor in lotus position without back support doesn't mean you're not in a great meditation position, or it doesn't mean that you are not going to have a great experience or connection with your inner self. So your feet are flat on the floor, you're sitting, you've got some back support, you're sitting up straight, your hands are placed gently on your lap. If it's morning, you might want to face your palms up. If it's evening, you might want to face your palms down. And then you're going to slide your hands like back closer to the crease of your hips as you're sitting. And then you're going to kind of imagine like there's like an imaginary string right here, just a gentle string, keeping your spine and your head straight and erect like this. Yeah, how does that feel? Do you feel pretty aligned in the space? Try it out. Check in with your body. How do your hips feel? How does your back feel? And then if you're in a space of, hey, this feels pretty good, then I think you're ready to get into a meditation practice. And I would always say just start with a few minutes. If you have not been meditating for a while, or, you know, you're not trying to achieve anything necessarily. Actually, you're kind of trying to achieve nothing in meditation. So if you feel that your body is not calling out for you in a specific way, then you can take a meditation right here. And if you want, you can close your eyes. But some people are uncomfortable closing their eyes in meditation. So the other thing you can do is you can actually lower your gaze to like a 45-degree angle in front of you. And that puts you in a space of kind of zens you out a little bit. Try it. If everybody can try it, just kind of sit there and just kind of look down like a 45-degree angle in front of you. So your eyes are not closed. And then just take a deep breath in. And let it go. Ooh, that feels amazing. Wow. So that kind of zens you out to look down 45 degrees. So the reason that we don't like lay down when we meditate is because when your body is ready, your body takes signals, right? So if you lay down, that tells your body that you're ready to go to sleep. That tells your body you're ready to go to bed. So if you lay down to meditate, most likely you will fall asleep. You'll be knocked out and fall asleep. Now, if you're sitting up in the meditation posture that we just went over, and you still find yourself nodding off, just know that your body's going to take what it needs. And if you are sleep deprived in that moment, your body's going to take the meditation. It's going to take the sleep from the meditation. So here's what I say, because I have clients that say, I fell asleep in my meditation. I kept nodding off in my meditation. I was fighting sleep in my meditation. And my recommendation to them is honor your body, honor what it's asking for, and maybe it's asking for a nap. So at the end of the day, you really did get out of the meditation what you needed to get out of it. So why meditate anyway? There's a whole lot of reasons that meditation is beneficial. But for our conversation today, it's about being able to hear our inner self. It's about being able to hear those signals that our body sends us, those infinite like signals that we get all day long from this very intelligent source. So, I mean, the more obvious signals are, you know, if you're hungry, if you're sleepy, but we tend to bypass that stuff, you know. If I'm sleepy, I'm going to have more caffeine, but your body's giving you a real signal. I'm sleepy. So maybe that night you need to go to bed early. Listen to what's happening. Your body gives you signals with emotions too, you know. I'm sad, or something doesn't feel right, or I need to check in, or maybe this is overstimulating. But you won't know what those things are, and you won't hear those signals until you connect with yourself, and meditation is one of the ways that you can make that happen. So why do we want to hear these signals? Why do we even want to know? It goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of our conversation today when we talked about our body giving us signals. Body says hungry, we eat. Body says tired, we sleep, hopefully. And sometimes your body says, I'm stuck. What is that signal? We talked about that stuck signal sometimes being identified as fine. When somebody says, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. Sometimes that's saying I'm stuck and covering up that space of being stuck. And then what happens when you're stuck? It's not as clear as when you're hungry or when you're tired, right? It's not as clear as those signals. So this is where you get curious and you start to ask some questions and you start to recognize where it is you're stuck and why. In that stuck place, this is where we start to identify, how do I go from fine to fabulous? What is your fabulous? Think about it right now. Right now, you might say, I'm fine. What is your fabulous? Review in your mind what that fabulous is. And so now we're going to take that fabulous and we're going to break it down into smaller goals, smaller steps, lower hanging fruit, easier things to achieve. Because what happens in your brain? Your brain says, that goal, yes, I want to do that goal. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it in my organizer. I'm going to put it in my phone. I'm going to tell people about it. And I never get there. Why do I never get there? Why do you never get there? You never get there because it's so big that your brain, your unconscious mind, your conscious mind, all of it, your mind, body, soul just says, it's so big, I'll put it away for next time. It's so big, I'll put it away for next time. And next thing you know, your goals on January 1 are now renewed the following year because you never got to it because you kept putting it on the shelf. What if we could take that big goal and what if we could break it down into smaller, doable goals? What if we could break it down into goals that you could actually achieve? Then we're talking. Then your body says, yes, I want to do this. I can do this. Your mind says, I can do this. I'm 100% on track to make this happen. So here we go. Autopilot is happening. You have a small goal. Now you get an inspiration about the small goal, about how to achieve that small goal. Remember, you have 5 seconds before the emergency brake hits. So get in that 5 seconds. You want to marry that inspiration or that thought with an action within that 5-second spot before the emergency brake hits. That's the secret sauce. I got inspired. I married that inspiration with a physical action. I wrote it down. I got up. I did something about it. I moved my gym shoes next to the treadmill because if they're not next to the treadmill, I don't do it. I make it easier. I stack the deck in my favor for success when I achieve these smaller goals. You guys, the goal can be that small. It can be as small as I want to work out, and I'm going to give you a real goal of mine. I want to work out at 6 o'clock in the morning so that by the time 7:30 rolls around, then I can have a life because I feel like working out when I put it at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I've put it all over the schedule and it just isn't working. Either I get the workout in and I feel really great about it, but then when I have to go back and create a class or a lecture or a presentation, I don't really want to do it because I'm like in the workout mode and I want to go get a smoothie and I want to go sit by the ocean and write my journal. I get lost in it. So I have to get that workout piece done first thing in the morning out of my way. I actually already know that's like one of the criterias for my success. It must be done first thing in the morning or it's just not going to happen. So it could be easy as me saying, I'm going to take my workout clothes and I'm going to put them out the night before. I'm literally like, here's the deal. Here's my sink, my toothbrush, my face wash. Okay, let's be real. My face wash, and then my other like 40 other facial products right there. And I'd love to talk about some of that today. So my toothbrush, my face wash, and then you know what else is on the counter right there? My gym clothes, my workout clothes. And my shoes really are next to the treadmill. I don't know why, that just works for me. So I literally like brush my teeth in the morning. I splash water on my face. I take my pajamas off and I put my workout clothes on and I go down the stairs and I go into the gym. I put my shoes on. I get on the treadmill and sometimes I wish my trainer isn't going to show up and he always does. So your small goal could be that easy because my big goal is to be healthy. I'm 51 years old. I have got to take care of myself. And I'm in one of those spaces where I go to the doctor and they're like, you just got to keep moving. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's for like older people. It's like, oh, you are older people. You have to keep moving for me. That's one of my big goals, right? So my small goal is, Michelle, you need to make sure that it's easy. Make sure that you stack the deck in your favor so that those gym clothes are there. So you go and you work out. It can be that easy, that simple, right? So there's no excuse for the smaller goals. But then there's going to be another goal, another small goal, and another small goal. So I'm going to keep moving up the ranks. And when I work with my clients, this is what we do. And it sounds really simple. I mean, I had a session with a client the other day, and the simplest things come out when we break them down small. You know, when somebody's like, oh, I just have to do that. I'm going to do that. I've got that to do. But when you break that down into a smaller space, your mind says, I'm going to hug that and I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it mine. Little does it know, you've got like 45 other small goals to get to the big goal, but you don't want to show all that. You don't want to show your hand just yet because your mind might get overwhelmed by it. But you know, because you have a plan and you have a good coach. So break that goal into smaller goals. Give yourself some wins. What happens when you win? Think about it. What happens when you win? When you win, your unconscious mind says, yes, I can do this. Celebrate your wins. Here's what we do. I think this is what we do. Bad stuff happens and we sit in it. And we sit in it and we talk about it and we feel bad about it and we ruminate over it and we just sit in it. Good stuff happens and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then we move past it. What happened? We have to learn to flip that paradigm. And when the good stuff happens, sit in it and milk it as long as you can. Give your body that experience of winning as much as you can. And here's the thing. This could be good news. This could be bad news for you. It was bad news for me the first time I heard it. There's nobody that can do this for you. That's the news. Good or bad, you decide. I initially thought that was terrible news because I was like, what? I remember I was sitting in a class and I was in the front row and I was like, I really need help with some of this stuff. And I'm sitting there and the first thing that they said was, this is all up to you. Nobody can do any of this but you. And I was like, I came here for solutions. Like I thought, I was going to get a mantra or something and everything was going to be fixed. And it's not. It's up to you. So you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to get those wins and you need to celebrate them, journal about them, talk about them, and feel them in your heart through and through so that you can tell your unconscious mind that you're a winner, you're on the right track, and you're making it happen. It might be a really small thing, but make a big thing out of it. That's my challenge to you. Make a big thing out of the small wins in your life and watch stuff change. I promise you, watch stuff change. And it's somebody in the chat just wrote, who's got a coach? Listen, everyone's got a coach, whether it's a formal or an informal coach. That's a whole nother conversation. You got to check who you're listening to. Who is the informal or the formal coach in your life today? That is one thing that you have to check in with 100%. So we talked about that autopilot and that emergency brake and that 5-second opportunity that you have to take that inspiration and marry it with an action. I want you to think about one thing that you could do. Like, you know what the big goal is, right? You have the big goal. We talked about having a big goal. Take the big goal, and I want you to think of one small goal that you could do. Now that you have the one small goal, or when you do, maybe you're taking some notes and you don't have it right this minute, but you think you don't know and you're overthinking it, I promise you. So get that one small goal, and now write down next to that, what is the physical action you could take to support that goal? And this goal should be so small that you could do it today or you could do it tomorrow, but it should be a small enough goal to do that. Marry that goal, that thought, that idea with a physical action and write that down. And I want you guys to try that on and see what comes up for you. So, are you fine? I hope not. I hope you are fantastic, because we're going to go from fine to fantastic. But it's a journey, and it's about the journey to the fantastic. It's not about the fantastic, because I guarantee you, if you go fine to fantastic, when you get to fantastic, it's going to turn fine. This is what happens. I believe, like, we're here, right, to develop as human beings. And within that development, then we experience contrast. Without contrast, we don't know what we want. So when something happens in your life that is unwanted, this is when you say, okay, I know I don't want that. Now that I know that I don't want that, I do want this. Does that make sense? Think about that for a minute. This experience happened to me. I'm late. It was awkward. It was strange. I felt weird. I felt like an outsider. I walked into a meeting. I was late. I was like, oh gosh, this is terrible. This is awful. I'm going to blow the account, whatever it is. In that moment, I had to get grateful for the experience. I had to get grateful for the contrast, because guess what I knew? I knew that I never wanted to experience that again. I knew that I wanted to do everything within my power to show up on time. Whatever I needed to do, whether that's waking up early, packing the car the night before. I recommend packing the car the night before if you have a garage, because I've packed the car the night before without a garage, and then, sometimes like the computer was gone. But pack the car the night before if you have a garage. Do these little things to set you up for success. So when something is unwanted, remember, that's contrast. I called something in that I didn't want. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't want this. Check. I'm not going to do this again. Right? So having these experiences and having these life experiences is all part of the journey. So it's not about the fantastic or the fabulous. It's about the journey from fine to fabulous. Right? It's all those pieces. It's the journey within you when you're in yoga class. It's not about the pose. It's about the journey to the pose. I did a yoga teacher training, and I had these girls in my class, and they were dancers. Imagine, gorgeous, strong, flexible dancers. The whole class, they were doing an amazing job hitting the pose. And my mentor, my teacher, said to me, this is easy for them. They're getting into the pose. But you're not taking them through the journey to the pose. You're taking them right to the pose, and they're getting there quickly without a problem. Their journey to the pose is different. Everyone's journey in that room is different. So it's about the journey. And the journey is important, because how are we going to show up? How do you want to show up for your life? Here's the good news, responsible news, news, I'll just call it news. You're the only one that can decide that, and you're the only one that can do something about that. And being your most authentic self is the best way to start. And if you're authentic and if you're real with yourself, then you're probably not fine. I'm going to try not to say that word anymore. But I am for our purposes of our live stream today. So I'm really glad you guys are enjoying this. There are some really, really great comments coming in. Yes. So I want to share with you guys all this information, and this is extremely. If you just take a little bit of this and apply it, you can't apply everything, because that's my downfall. I think I'm going to apply everything, and then I have to scale it back. So the opportunity that I have to share this information comes because of SwayTVLive.com. I have this opportunity to share with you ways for you to navigate your life through mindful practices. It is my goal. I'm part of a larger group that says, hey, we're going to share what we know. We're going to seek out information, philosophies, products, and tools, and we're going to share them with the greater community to lift everybody's life experience. There's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of information. When you come to SwayTVLive.com and you engage in this community, you're going to find people here that have experienced products, tools, and techniques that have worked for them, that they love, and that they share with you wholeheartedly. And this is all to expedite your experience. You know, when I know that I want something, but I don't know exactly what I want, it's like having a personal shopper. It's like having somebody that has tried it or researched it or done it or heard about it or whatever, and that can share the information with me. I know I can go online and read a whole bunch of reviews and everything, but I much rather have this kind of forum to be able to talk to you and to share some things with you. And I kind of want you to share some things with me too. I would love to hear from you guys as well. So I'm going to get comfortable here, and I want to share some tools with you. If you guys were watching me yesterday, I had so much fun with Heather Lindemann, and she's like a guide, a teacher, like a soul guide. She really helps you connect with self, and she has this great space in San Diego. And I was talking to her because I'd gone to her space, and I saw how she has a yurt. And I don't know if you guys know what a yurt is, but it's just this kind of it's a fabulous tent, I guess. I don't know how else to say it, but it's fantastic. And hers is massive. She runs classes in there. But I walked into that space, and I immediately felt transformed. And I talked with her about how to create that. How do we make that happen? Oh, thank you, Helen. I'm glad you stumbled on to Sway TV Live as well. We love having you here. And Rosalinda, thank you for all your love and support and compliments. I want to tell you, when I walked into Heather's yurt, that space, I'm like, there's something different going on here. It is so amazing. And then we talked about how to create that space. And it's so simple. But it's everything, but it's simple, but it's individual. Heather and I happen to like a lot of the same things. So, ish, right? You'll see, because I'm going to get into it right now. Okay. So, one of the things I asked her about yesterday that was super interesting, and I want to pull this up for you because I'm going to try to pull this up for you. Producer Andy, if you are in my world, I would love for you. Hi, you guys, I get to be tech and talent, so I'm getting some help here. Do this, like that. Oh, fantastic. Yay. And look at that, magical, absolutely magical. Yep, I'm loving it. Okay, so yesterday I asked Heather about this, and I want to share this with you guys because this is something. Here we go. Let's see. Is that going to do it for me? It is. And then I'm going to do this. And I think we're good. Fabulous. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Do you guys know what this is? This is a smudge kit. Yes, I said smudge kit. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. This is like $26 of fun in this little smudge kit. I wasn't exactly sure. I mean, I've burned sage before or whatever. I actually love that smell. Some people don't enjoy it, but I absolutely love it. Those yogis out there, I know that you guys probably absolutely love sage as well. But I love this kit, and I asked Heather, I said, what do you do with a smudge kit? And so when she's teaching classes, she'll what they call smudging the room. So she'll smudge the room. She'll burn the sage and then like kind of, smudge the room and things like that. And my daughter's kind of like into this, getting into this stuff too. And she, kind of does that in her room. And it cleanses and clears the space. So here's what I think. I mean, I know that there are like people that, they're like, they do this all the time. But I think that when you create ritual in your life, and when I say ritual, I'm talking about you have rituals in your life right now. I'm going to tell you, think about what is your shower ritual, right? You have a ritual for the shower. You have a ritual for going to bed. What do? Some of us have better rituals than others when it comes to going to bed. So some people watch TV until they fall asleep. It's not great, but it's a ritual, right? Some people decide, you know what? An hour before I go to bed, I'm going to read. A half hour before I go to bed, I'm going to, listen to, soothing music and go to sleep. Whatever it is, you already have rituals. You just get to choose kind of like how you want to make them. So I love adding things into my life. Like I love the whole idea of like setting a table. And I don't really set a table at home that much. It's my daughter and I. I'm a single mom. We have a blast. And sometimes we don't actually set a table, when we eat because it's just the two of us. But I love the ritual of setting a table. You can make a ritual out of anything and it becomes special. Think about those places in your life where you can do that. So this is what I love about this smudge kit because I'm going to make this is going to be a part of my ritual now at home. So when I get this kit, I'm going to kind of use it to cleanse the house and cleanse the space. And, whether or not it's actually cleansing the house or cleansing the space, like it becomes a part of my ritual and I feel like it is. So I almost think that it's just kind of something for your brain and your soul, and it just feels good. And I think a lot of the things I'm going to talk about right now are like kind of feel good things. So that was that. Here, I didn't click back over because I am working this out. Awesome. So here's the other thing. You guys, I'm in California and it has been so cold. We were talking about this yesterday. It's been really cold. Today, it's fantastic. And I wore a sweater today and I walked outside the house and I was hot. I was like, oh my gosh, I picked the wrong thing. But it's been so cold that I've had the heating on, the central heat. I've had the space heater going, and I've had this blanket with me. I have this blanket, and I use it in my meditation corner because when you do meditate or have a quiet moment, because sometimes I just sit there to journal. And when I do that, sometimes your body temperature drops because you're not moving around. And I don't want to be distracted by it. I don't want to feel like I have to get up and like change anything up. So I like to have it like all handy right there. So I usually have this blanket right there. But I've literally felt like Linus. I don't know if you remember Linus from the Peanuts. I felt like Linus carrying this blanket around because it's so darn cold in my house. I can't even handle it. So here's what I think is important about the blanket. It's got to be colors that you like and colors that you resonate with. Because when we think of things that we consume that create our joy in our life or create our health, let's say, that applies to everything we consume. When we say consume, I think we think of like, what am I going to eat or what am I going to drink? And that's part of it, but we're consuming all the time. The things that we see, we're consuming. The things that we hear, we're consuming. The things that we're not really paying attention to but are in the background, we're consuming. So you want to surround yourself by the things that you love, the things that make you feel good, because they're going to set you up for when that big goal feels so big and you have to create the small goals. These things this way that you create your life, when you choose what you're going to consume, well, that sets you up to win. That gets you through the tough spot. That gets you through the snags. That gets you over the hurdles. So why not? So here's what I say. If you're going to have the blanket, have it in the color that you want. Have it feel good to you. And I don't know. I love it. I absolutely love it. But make those choices, and don't make those irrational choices. You know, when you go and I need a blanket, I'm going to get a blanket. Don't do that. Make sure it's something that you like, that it's cozy, that you're going to love. Because I'm going to show you this next one right here. We're going to go back to Maine real quick, and I'm going to show you this next one because this is the blanket I walk around the house with, but I'm going to show you the blanket that I don't walk around the house with, and you'll see why. I love that I'm talking about blankets, and I think we are in spring already. Are we in spring? You guys tell me. Are we in spring already? Tell me in the chat if we're in spring. Here we go. This is the one. So this one, I do not walk around the house with this blanket. I stay put with this blanket because I don't want to get it dirty. It is actually it's not real fur. It's faux. It's a faux fur blanket. Look at how amazing this thing looks. It's like fluffy and soft. And here's the best part. I throw it in the washer and the dryer. And it's clean. No problems, nothing. Washer, dryer, clean, done. But this is the one that I leave on my bed, or I have a couch in my room. I leave it there. I don't traipse around the house with it. But these are the cozy things that make me feel good in life. You guys, we've got to surround ourselves by the yummy, yummy, yummy stuff. Oh my gosh, my friend uses the word yummy all the time, and I just used it, and I don't even know if she's watching, but if she is, that yummy, yummy, yummy was for you. Yes, it is beautiful. Somebody just said that blanket's beautiful. It is beautiful, and it is even more beautiful when it's in your life. I'm going to tell you right now, I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. So one of the other things that I do to kind of get myself, to soothe myself, I think those are better words. And I do a lot of soothing because I'm a life coach. I help a lot of people, and going through and really giving of yourself that deeply. And I know you guys are doing the same thing. You're giving to your kids. You're giving to your work. We're all juggling a bunch of different stuff right now. You have to soothe yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Listen to that self-talk. Soothe yourself and surround yourself by amazing things. So this I'm sharing with you right now, and you guys can see it. Oh, fantastic. You can see it right away. It's interesting that it's another cleansing product that I'm talking about. And so I don't know, maybe I'm just maybe it's time for a cleansing. But there's something about sage, and I think I said that earlier. I like to burn sage. They call this a smudge candle, but I think you could just burn it. I mean, I would. I actually ordered it, and I'm waiting for it. I cannot wait to go home and see all my fun Amazon stuff that I got. So this candle is, it looks super, super yummy. So this is they're calling it a soy wax candle, and I don't know if you guys know what the difference is, but I didn't. The soy candles are much better. Now, okay, 100% full disclosure, I can't tell you why, but they are better. I can't keep up with everything, you guys, with the food, with the, it's hold on a minute. Do you know how much information is out there on everything? I had this conversation with a friend recently, and she said, Michelle, you know so much. You have such deep knowledge in the spaces of mindfulness and coaching and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm just not that person. I'm not gonna dive down and drill down, 45 layers deep on something because there's too much information out there. She rather skim the surface of this and this and this and this because there's so many interesting things out there. And I get it because I'm stuck in that space too. There's just not enough years left on the planet for me to learn and know all the things I want to know. So I find out as much as I can. Some things I do dive very deeply into because it's my work and it's my passion. And it's my dharma in Ayurveda. We talk about, it's my dharma in life to do, my purpose. So I don't know a ton about soy candles. That was a long road around to not knowing a lot about soy candles, except for to know that they're better. And I do have a friend that actually makes candles. So if she's watching, she's probably like, listen, I told you I make soy candles. So that's the one. But this is the one that I absolutely 100% love. Okay, there it is. I love the packaging. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Black is my favorite color. So you guys are getting a treat today because I'm not wearing black. I mean, it's a little shocking that I'm not wearing black, but it was the only warm sweater I had and I thought it was cold outside and it's not. So black is my favorite color. So the packaging got me right away. And then what else do you think got me? What else do you think got me on this box? If you guys know, type it in the chat. What else do you think got me? The word meditate. It says it right on the box. It's almost like a suggestion. Okay, here we go. Here's the other piece on this. Do you guys notice something about this candle? And I learned this yesterday from Heather. The wick on the candle it's like a wooden wick. I didn't even know that was a thing. It's like a wooden wick. And she said when you light it, it kind of sounds like a crackly fire. Yes, Alicia, meditate on the candle. And that, we know what that tells me? It tells me to get on with it and meditate. So I'm going to actually keep the box and the candle. This one is just absolutely beautiful. The aesthetics got me on this, but the quality of the candle, 100%, but the aesthetics really jumped out at me and got me on this candle. I cannot wait. And you guys, I ordered this stuff, so when I get it, we're gonna maybe, if I can handle it, if I can stand it, I might wait and open it with you. But we'll see. We'll see if I can handle it. Maybe I'll save something for you. Let's see. Let me go back to where I was. Yes. All right. So here's my, where is it? Oh, wait. This just reminded me of something. Okay. So I was watching SwayTVLive.com and I'm going to tell you how that helped my life. I barely drink any water. I try to. I really, really do try to. But I kind of, when people, they're carrying around water bottles and stuff, I just think, how can you do that? How can you actually drink all that water? I'm going to tell you. So I was watching Sway TV Live. So it's about the story. You're connecting with me. I'm having an authentic conversation with you on a live stream on Sway TV Live. If you think anybody else would enjoy this, you can please send them to Sway TV Live or swaytvfollow.com or go to swaytvlive.com and click follow to join in our community. That's what this is. This is a community to share information, share products, share tools, philosophies, things that are going to make your life better and easier. So this is how watching Sway TV helped me. So I ended up with this. I'm going to pull it up. I wasn't going to pull it up just now because I was like on my cozy mode. But I'm going to do this so that do you guys see this? So what I actually saw was a gallon. My friend Eden, who has a show here on Sway TV, and my friend Sally, she also has a show here on Sway TV. She has a book club on Sway TV, which is fantastic. So interesting. She had author Caroline Leaf on yesterday. And if you don't know Caroline Leaf, she talks about neuroscience and the brain and how we make decisions and how our brain ages and all the really, really good stuff that everyone's getting into right now. She breaks it down in such an amazing way. And she was on Sway TV Live yesterday on my friend Sally Colon Petrie's book club, and it was fantastic. So Sally's carrying around, I think she carries around a half gallon. And my friend Eden, who has the Eden Sassoon Way, which is all about Eden and all the great things in her life. She is extremely fit. She's I don't know, I guess I would kind of call her a health nut, but it's not a health nut in a bad way. She's always seeking the best things for her body and her skin, and she shares that with everybody here on Sway TV. I've learned she's my friend, but since Sway TV, I've learned so much about the products that she uses, and I know that I can't go wrong, listening to her recommendations, because they're tried and true, and they are not always the most expensive products. She had a mascara on the other day that was like $20 or $9. And I was like, wait, my mascara is like, almost $30. That's crazy. So anyway, she carries on a gallon. I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to carry on a gallon. So I thought about it for a while, and then I ended up getting the half gallon. And the first day was a little bit rough. We're still new into this process. So I did small goals, just like I told you earlier about small goals that lead to big goals. So my big goal is that I want to my big goal is that I want to be healthy. My smaller goal is that drinking water is a part of that plan. And then my even smaller goal was I want to drink water every day. My smaller goal to that was I want to order a water bottle, because for me that's going to work, but not like a regular size water bottle, because once that's empty, I'm not refilling it. That seems to be the glitch for me. So I ordered that. You guys, I started on Sunday, and Sunday was tough. I drank a little bit. And then I kept having to go back and remind myself to drink. And Monday was better. But Tuesday, by noon on Tuesday, it was like I was halfway through. I was almost more than halfway through the bottle. So that is my big win story. My product I learned about on Sway TV. So thank you, SwayTVLive.com, for helping me out. And a whole bunch of other stuff too, but I'll tell you about that as we go along. So I got a little distracted with the water bottle, but it's pretty fantastic. I have this little secret. Well, it's not a secret, especially now, because I'm going to share it with you. How many of you know what this is? Oh my gosh, I wish I had the picture. You guys, there's a picture of me on my Instagram, and I have this on my face, and I'll tell you the story that goes along with this. Helen, you just brought the candle. Helen, which candle did you buy? And Tamby says she loves this water bottle, and if Tamby loves the water bottle, I'm going to tell you it's a good thing, because Tamby tries stuff out, and she's like, she knows these products frontwards and backwards. And Laura, did you buy the candle too? Okay, the one with the wooden wick. All right, everyone is loving the candle with the wooden wick. So when I get that candle, I promise you guys, I'm not going to open it until I get to open it with you, because we're all loving that candle. Helen got the Sage Energy. Helen, I love the Sage Energy candle. I can't wait to get it. It looks really, really, really fantastic. So I've got this thing up. I have to tell you the story, because I almost gave my daughter a heart attack with this. I mean, there should be a disclaimer. There should be two disclaimers. One's like, gosh, your skin's going to be so fabulous, like no one will recognize you. That's the first disclaimer. And the other disclaimer is, make sure you tell people you have this on before they walk into the room. So imagine me in my room. I'm sitting I have this little couch in my room. I'm sitting on the couch. The lights are off, and I'm watching Netflix. And I've got this on my face, and it's glowing because I've got the red light on. And the red light is the collagen light. It just, you guys, you can actually feel it like changing your skin when it's on your face. So I've got this mask on my face. I'm sitting on that couch. Lights are off in my room, and the Netflix is on. So when the TV's glowing, it already looks a little bit trippy in the room. And so then I'm here with this glowing red face. My daughter walks in the room, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom." She's like, she's in a split second, she had a heart attack when she saw me. So maybe tell people when you're putting this on, but you guys, I use this. I actually, like, I use it and I forget, and I use it and I forget. And every time my skin feels a little, and I've said this before, it's like I'm 51, but I feel like sometimes my skin just feels dull. Yeah, kind of like dull and deflated. I pull this guy out, and it's 20 minutes at a time. I do 20 minutes at a time, and then I just do, like, I don't know, a couple times a week, and it's fantastic. I haven't had a real facial for, I don't know, 3 years. And I've had this machine, this little gadget. I've had it forever and ever, and nothing's ever gone wrong with it. It's fantastic. If you're gonna buy something for your skin and something for your face to support your face and the skin on your face, this is a must-have in your tool belt. So I'm gonna show you. Okay, so that's my big skin secret. And there is another water bottle in here. Do you guys want to see another water bottle? I'm going to skip it because there's something way more exciting happening. Okay, so this one is, I just got a new shower head. I mean, what's happened to my life? I'm getting excited about getting a new shower head. Like, it's just real, you know, the things that I think that I would see my parents get excited about. Like I bought a water heater a couple weeks ago, and my daughter asked for something, and I said, you know, we just bought a water heater. And so I took her to the garage, and we stood in front of the water heater, and I was like, look. She's like, what, Mom? I'm like, look at the water heater. And she's like, okay. She's 13. I was like, it's our gift to ourselves. We bought a water heater. And she's like, oh my gosh. She walks out of the room. So, you know, I don't know. You know that you're adulting when you're excited about water heaters and shower heads. But look at this shower head. So this is a Moen shower head. It has a secret. The secret is it's an aromatherapy. It's an aromatherapy shower head. It speaks to me. It makes my journey easier. It helps me get through the snags and the humps and the bumps that I have in my way on my journey to achieving my little goals that get to the big goals. Can you imagine getting up in the morning and having an aromatherapy shower? Or better than that, can you imagine before bed having an aromatherapy shower? Okay. I don't even have to imagine it because I do it. It's pretty fantastic. We're going to go back here. You know what I love? Also, being on Sway TV has really stretched me out of my comfort zone. When was the last time you were stretched out of your comfort zone? What does that look like for you? And be real. There's something that Heather Lindemann said yesterday when I had her on my show. I'm going to look it up in my notes because I want to get it right. I think it was something about pretending, and it struck me, and I'll tell you why. Here it is. Yep, it's. So she was referring to, like, having a conversation with somebody about forgiveness, but I think this applies to having a conversation with yourself, having a conversation with somebody else. The first, she said, you have to have some, I forgot what word she used, but I'm going to say you have to have some rules of the road, whatever you want to call that. And the first rule is there's no pretending. Think about that for a minute. There's no pretending. So when you say to yourself, this is my big goal, are you being authentic? And are you being true to yourself? Are you pretending to be somebody else? I say that because I was. I've done that in my life. Hey, this is the goal. This is my big goal. But I was pretending that was my big goal so that I could satisfy somebody else. It might be your parents. It might be your spouse. It might be your kids. It might be your peers, your colleagues. Come on, you guys. This is the life we know we have. How do you want to show up for it? No pretending. Absolutely no pretending. What is your big goal? And there's no pretending. So have that conversation with your mind. So, I want this because of X, Y, and Z. Ask yourself some soul questions. Why? Why do I want that? How does that serve me? Is that really my thought, or is that somebody else's thought? Will that bring me joy? Will that bring me peace? Is that something I really want to do? I mean, relentlessly ask yourself the question before you land on that big goal. So there's no pretending. That is the first rule. I mean, I'm taking Heather's words and I'm like making my own thing out of it. So I'll have to like confess that to her. In life, conversation with yourself, self-talk conversation. No pretending. Somebody says, Michelle, do you want to do this? Yeah, sure, I do. Whoa, do I? I need to stop. I need to ask myself, am I pretending? Am I saying I want to do it because I think somebody wants me to do it? Am I saying I want to do it because I think somebody will be impressed by it? Or am I doing it because I want to do it? No pretending, you guys. That relationship you have with yourself, those answers that you give other people, think about it. I mean, there's being kind in your answer, but no pretending. And here's the second part of that. Recognize that you're not alone. You do not live in a vacuum. You do not make decisions in a vacuum. We are connected. So when we came into this world and lived in societies, we made a decision to be connected. There's a benefit to that connection, right? The benefit is we support each other. We create communities that have schools and shops and things like that. We have circles of friends and we share ideas and we come up with business ideas and we come up with fun ideas, and you're connected. There's no decision that you make that is just your decision. Think about that for a minute. There's no decision that you make that doesn't have an effect on something outside of you. So you're not alone. So there's no pretending, and you're not alone. That can be comforting, but it can also feel like a little bit like a responsibility. So it's not to be heavy, but it's kind of to question yourself. Ask yourself the questions. Like, come back to the space, right, of checking in with yourself. And we talked about meditation practice earlier. If you practice that regularly, your ability to come back to self will get faster and faster and faster. And in the midst of chaos and confusion, it will come back faster and faster and faster and faster. Like you won't even know. Like, it'll make your head spin a little bit. You'll be like, whoa, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just like managed that situation without it spinning out of control. Now, it doesn't happen if you like, oh, I have a crisis, I'm going to meditate right now. Definitely, if you're having a crisis, deep breathing meditation is very helpful to get you out of your head and into your body. But if you meditate on a regular basis every day, it's like you're putting time in the bank. It's like a bank account, it's like a savings account. So if you meditate every day and then like day 14, there's a crisis, you're most likely to handle that in a better way. You're most likely to respond to the situation versus reacting to it, right? So we kind of went off, but that's how it goes sometimes. I'm going to pull you guys into this space. All right. I've talked about this before, and somebody asked me why. Oh yeah, I had a guest, and I had Connie. Connie owns Retreat to Joy in Kansas. There's an organization called Retreat to Joy. Can you imagine having an organization called Retreat to Joy? Like, that's my job. Like, my job is joy. Like, my job is mindfulness. That's pretty cool. And my job is helping people live more mindful moments that lead to a more meaningful life. That's my dharma, and that's my job. I guarantee you that hasn't always been my job, and I'm going to tell you it's because I was pretending for a long time that I really loved being, in corporate, and I really loved being in charge, and I really loved making all these decisions. And the reality is, if I was not pretending, I would have probably been doing this a whole lot sooner. So I was on with Connie, and we were talking, and wait, before I get into this, I just want to say, I want you guys to have this little space of thinking, where am I pretending? Is there somewhere that I'm pretending in my life? Think about that. Is there somewhere that I might be pretending? And the answer might not come up right now. And here's what's great about asking questions. When you ask a question, you're talking directly to your unconscious mind. And what happens is you ask the question and your unconscious mind just goes to work. You don't even have to do anything with that. It just absolutely says, oh, question, I'm going to go find the answer. So don't worry about finding the answer. In the morning, sometimes I ask myself a few questions and I just let it go. And then later on, the answer comes up, or maybe another question comes up. But I'm on the road to getting that resolution. Okay, so back to this tea. So I was a little bit embarrassed when I was talking about this Forte tea box. And she asked me, she says, oh, why do you love this tea so much? Oh. I said it was the shape of the tea bag. And I was for a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I needed to have a better answer than that. It's quality tea, which it really is. It's super good. It's delicious. And I absolutely love it because it comes in everything you could think of. And they even do these little theme boxes, which I don't have right here, but, they'll do do you guys know about butterfly pea tea? Have you ever heard of butterfly pea tea? Okay. I was in Thailand, and it was the first time that I'd even heard about butterfly pea tea. And I'd gone to a restaurant, and I didn't want to have an alcoholic drink. And I ordered butterfly pea tea. And they brought this tray to me. I'm sitting at this place in Thailand with my friend. They brought this tray to me, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was this wooden tray, and on it was, there was a little cylinder kind of glass of coconut milk, I think. And then there was a cylinder glass of this blue substance. And it was tea, but it was blue. It was amazing. I felt like I was my eyes were playing tricks on me, that it was an unreal blue. And then there were brown sugar, another little kind of cylinder of brown sugar cubes, but they weren't perfect. They looked just like sugar crumbles almost, but not too fine. Anyway, whole thing comes out. Beautiful flowers everywhere. I mean, it's Thailand. The flowers are gorgeous no matter where you look. They bring this to me, and it's all in this beautiful stuff, and I get to make it myself. I get to pour the tea into the glass of ice, and I get to put all this stuff in and make this beautiful thing. I find out that this tea is all over Thailand. And so here's my silliness. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only in Thailand. So I march off to the shop to buy all the butterfly pea tea that I can get in my suitcase. And I truck it all back to California, only to find out that we have butterfly pea tea here as well. And Amazon does have butterfly pea tea, and I think I need to put it in my cart. But it's very relaxing. In Ayurveda, we use it for relaxation, so it's good for you too. Tea Forte also has butterfly pea tea, but I love Tea Forte for treating myself in a special way. I have tea. I'm a tea drinker. I don't drink coffee, although I love the smell. And if you guys have watched me before, you know I love matcha tea, but I can't have too much of it. It just it's too much caffeine. But I drink tea all the time. So when I want to have a special tea moment, or if I didn't sleep very well, and this is what I'm talking about, soothing yourself. You want to just do the next thing that might make you feel better, that's in a healthy kind of way, in a healthy environment. So if I hadn't slept very well the night before and I wake up and I go downstairs to make my tea, I choose the Tea Forte because it is so pretty and gorgeous that it just gives me a lift. It gives me an immediate lift when I I open the package. It's like not like a, just like a regular tea round that you throw in. So that's my little secret to kind of like lift my spirits if I'm down, or if I'm extra tired, is the Tea Forte. You guys are going to love it because it comes in so many different boxes. I don't think you can buy them individually. I think you have to buy them in a box. Do you guys have a tea product? Do you guys order tea from Amazon? If you have a favorite, if you have a favorite mindfulness product, or if there's something that soothes you that you order from Amazon, and like if you have a favorite water bottle that you want to share, I know drinking water is kind of a big deal for everybody right now. If you have a water bottle that you want to share, you can do that too. Tell me what that is, and I will find it. So yes, the shower head is magical, just so that I can answer that question. I absolutely feel that it is. Where is the, okay. All right, so this, when we talk about getting out of your head, have you seen this before? Johnny Kong, have you seen this before? Come on now. Look at this. This is a singing bowl. One of the tools that you can use to get out of your head and into your body. So a lot of our ruminating thoughts are in our head, and we often live up here and we forget from here down, we forget that this exists, and we make up all these stories and assumptions and what somebody else thinks. Have you guys ever heard anybody say, like what you think of me is none of my business? Have you ever heard that? What you think of me is none of my business. So basically that's saying your thoughts are your thoughts. They're not my thoughts. And so when we start creating thoughts about somebody, like, oh my gosh, this person thinks this about me, or I can't stop thinking about this project or that project, when these things are like flipping around in our heads and our thoughts are flying around, the best hack for this is to get out of your head and do something physical to get you out of your head. The singing bowl, and this is like $24.97 of getting out of your head. This is amazing. The singing bowl for me, it does it in a couple different ways. It's something textile that I can touch. So it's something that I can hold. It's something that's kinesthetic that I will be doing, right? So I'm engaging this physicality of mine. It takes a little bit of, like coordination, like I actually have to do something. And then it sings. Like it emits sound, so auditory, so visually pleasing. There's a kinesthetic component to it, and there's an auditory component. So when I say those words, we all live in these different lanes, and we have more dominant learning types or dominant types. Some people are more kinesthetic. They like to touch things, get their hands on things, move things around. Some people are more auditory. They like to listen to music. They like to listen to audiobooks. And some people are very visual. And so if I try to explain something to them, they rather have me draw a picture or show them a picture or something like that. So when you use a singing bowl, you are engaging in multiple senses, and it pulls you out of your head and into the moment, into this moment, because every moment is a perfect moment. When we live in the moment, we're not ruminating about the past, and we're not having anxiety about the future. We're in this moment. Now, stay with me on this for a second. When you're in the moment, that is when you can construct your future, right? All the components for your future don't live in the future. All your components for the future live in this moment today, right now, meaning the decisions that you make today, The decisions that you make right now weave the reality of your future. So if you're going to skip over this moment, if you're going to skip over today and you're going to jump into the future, you're building that on shaky ground. That's why it feels anxious. You need to come back into this moment. What am I doing in this moment to weave a solid and secure future? You ask yourself those questions. And when you're in the past, you're not in this moment, and this is the moment that you get to weave that compelling future. So if you're in the past, you're like not even at square one for what your future is going to look like, right? So if you get out of this rumination of the past and you get into this moment, and a tool like a singing bowl can bring you right into this moment, that's the magic of making your future. That's the magic of making your future successful. That's the magic of not pretending. If you build your future based on the fear of the past, you drag that fear into today, and then you take that fear and you weave a future for tomorrow, you're pretending. You're not being authentic. You're wearing the cloak and the clothes and the film of what was. Do you really want to make what is going to be out of what was? Or do you want to live in this soup of infinite possibility in this moment? Anything's possible in this moment. In this moment right now, anything's possible because the next moment hasn't happened. Well, it just did. And then the next moment, well, it just did, right? So moment to moment to moment, make sure you jump into it. Because I'm talking about this moment right now, like I'm not even in this moment anymore. I'm already talking about the next moment. Be present. This is one of the tools I use to be present. And my friend Eden always says, did you bring your singing bowls? Because she loves them too. There's something magical that happens when you play your own singing bowl. There's also something magical about just listening and watching somebody else play a singing bowl. I was talking to somebody earlier and I talked about these things are like 5,000-year-old practices. And what's happening is our technology today is finally catching up with measuring, right? The medical tools we have today, they're finally catching up with measuring what these 5,000-year-old tools do to our immune system, to our stress response, to our sleep patterns. And that's why all this stuff is coming out. Because we're like, oh, this means something. That the wisdom of the elders from years gone by was an intuitive knowing, and now we can actually test it and look at it and make it a knowing that resonates with more than the yogi community. Let me put it that way. So the singing bowl is one of my absolute favorite ways. So if you guys are watching, if you're just jumping on, you are catching Navigating Life with Michelle Mitchell. I'm a life coach, and it's my goal to help you live more mindful moments that lead to a more meaningful life. And I'm here on Sway TV. Please go to swaytvfollow.com. Sway TV is a wonderful live streaming platform that allows us to not only bring amazing tools to you that support each host that comes on has their own set of tools that they absolutely love, that supports them on their journey, that supports them on how they help other people. This platform allows us to not only share the tools with you and how to access them, but it also allows us to share the philosophy that goes with that. It allows us to share real world stuff with you. And when I say real world stuff, I mean, it's the conversation, right? This is exciting. It's more exciting than looking at a magazine. And for me, if I want something, I think I want something and I want to do research on it, I don't want to go on the internet and just like read all the reviews or whatever. I want to jump on Sway TV and I want to see what's going on. I want to see what they're talking about. Whatever, resonates with me, then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to have a look at it. Today, we're going to have Tambi on. Tambi's coming on at 5:10 today. And she's amazing. She is a ball of energy and a wealth of knowledge. She has so much experience in sharing this stuff with you. You're going to absolutely love to watch Tambi, and she has really, really, really great stuff that she's seeing. And I'm learning stuff from her too. I think it's funny. I think we're all kind of learning from each other and sharing the tools that we use. So this is an amazing platform. If you guys love it, please go to swaytvfollow.com. Follow us on Sway TV and make sure that you support us. We want to continue this community with you. We want to continue sharing all this amazing stuff with you and this amazing advice and just this dialogue back and forth. I learned from you guys too. We so appreciate you guys spending the time that you have with us. We value it and love it. So if you guys want more, you have to get on swaytvfollow.com and give us a follow. Tell all your friends and family or whoever you think might benefit from this. We really want people that are going to help grow this community. And if you want more today, you're going to get more. You're going to get more at 5:10 with Tambi, who, again, I'm going to tell you, you've got to tune in to see Tambi. I don't drink coffee. I say Tambi is kind of like a cup of coffee. She is on it. So don't miss Tambi at 5:10. And I'm gonna say goodbye and that I love you and that Sway TV has been awesome today. Have you guys absolutely loved Sway TV today? I mean, I have absolutely loved Sway TV today, and the opportunity that I had to share with you. You made my Thursday a brighter day. The weather also made my Thursday a brighter day. So I will be back with you next week, 3 o'clock on Wednesday, for Navigating Life, and stay tuned and you'll see what we're gonna talk about. And I'm gonna add some new stuff into my favorite things so that I can share them with you. And I love you and have a wonderful day. Thank you. And that's Sway.
Make sure you guys follow Sway TV. Follow Sway right here. Ooh, it's this way, sorry. Corey says, thank you, Sway TV. Shakira says, thank you, Sway. Yes, guys, it is so much fun. We love Sway TV.
We're here all the time streaming live. We're sharing great products. We're doing great interviews and amazing giveaways.
Amazon, we love you, Amazon.
So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
I've had such a great time with all of you.
Shop-attainment all the time.
It is a girl's dream come true for someone like me to be able to give you dating advice and shopping all in one platform.
Amazon Live, woo! Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.